This video contains content that some might find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. The forest is a testament to nature's beauty, its strength, and its power. But everyone and everything has to abide by the laws of nature. Tonight's narrator is reminded of exactly what can happen when humans forget that. I'm Ryan Bergara, and this is Are You Scared? A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it until the end of the night. It protects the trees.
Tonight, we hear the tale of a trip gone wrong. One that can only be saved by today's episode's sponsor, Bombas. Have you ever found yourself freezing on an overseas flight? Exhausted and stuck in a tiny seat after being on your feet all day at the airport. Muscles aching as you're flying in the sky. Well, have no fear, because your feet are in for a treat. Bombas is a comfort-focused premium basics brand with a mission to help those in need, selling t-shirts, underwear, slippers, and the most comfortable socks in the history of feet. For every one item purchased, one is donated, with over 150 million items donated already. Kick back in a pair of trusty, everyday compression socks. These socks come with a graduated medium compression that helps soothe and energize your tired, achy legs, and have a foot-hugging honeycomb arch support with no annoying toe seam. It's no mystery how cozy you'll feel. And say you lose a sock in your Parisian hotel, Bombas has a 100% happiness guarantee, meaning free returns and exchanges for any reason. International shipping is also offered now to over 200 countries. Ooh la la. Feel good and do good with Bombas, knowing your purchase is doing some real good. New customers get 20% off their first purchase. Just go to bombas.com/watcher and use code WATCHER at checkout. Now, back to the show.
I'm writing this testament 30 years after the event in reflection of my accomplishment, or lack thereof. My life, unremarkable as it is, has been otherwise comfortable and quiet in the heart of Boston. For anyone who reads this and finds it unbelievable, please come and see me, and I will answer any lingering questions. So this is from a letter dated 1911.
A year before the Titanic sank.
Why do you know that offhand?
Because it sank in 1912.
Oh, I know that, but it's just weird that you know that so quickly. If I am dead when this is read, then you are snooping, but you are welcome to read regardless. I hope it paints the picture of a man who has done what he's able. I was young when the bullying started, some from the other children at school, but mostly from my father, a burly man and capable with his hands. He kept us fed and housed with the strength of his back and the sweat of his brow. He was afraid of nothing. As his son, I would accompany him on hunting trips, frail as I was. It was expected I would love it as much as he did, but I never had the stomach. I knew it disappointed him, and it disappointed me too.
I'm thankful my pa never made me go hunting.
The only thing your pa hunts for is water.
He does have a secret well that he goes to.
Not a joke.
Shh. We're not supposed to talk about that.
I'm sure.
You ever go hunting as a boy?
No, I've never been hunting. I never will go hunting. I have
Yeah,
no
it's not
interest
for
in
me.
killing an animal.
It's not for me.
Backbreaking work, which was almost entirely what my father did, never paid well. When he died, it left us penniless. When I was 19, I had barely anything to my name. A few bucks and an old watch that my father prized. It was likely worth nothing, but he loved it, and because he did, so did I. Nevertheless, I wished to make not only a fortune, but a name for myself. I had a cousin, Thomas, who went out west and built a log cabin in the Oregon Territory, at the bottom of the Puget Sound. Sometimes I think my father wished him for a son instead. Thomas wrote and told me that they were offering big bounties for the carcasses of grizzly bears. Apparently, they were a great formidable beast, and he said the place was lousy with them. They were becoming a problem for settlers and farmers, and men were taking up the call to hunt them. Great men, I imagined. Foolish men, in my opinion.
I was going to say, this is a story pitched right down the center to you because
I do not like bears.
You don't like them.
Did you hear about the grizzly bear that's called the boss?
Is this a joke?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's the dominant bear over in, I think, Banff. He fathered like 70% of the cubs in the area.
Busy guy.
And he also kills and eats other bears.
Is that so?
Yeah. Some things just weren't meant to be trifled with. He offered me the cabin for the summer while he was away on business. Seeing an opportunity to make money and to vindicate myself to my father's ghost, I hopped a train and set out west. Oregon Territory is the home of wonders. Hills and mountains are hardly distinguishable. Trees touch the stars, and rivers give oceans a hardy rival. My earliest indication of future troubles would occur at the livery upon my arrival in Oregon. I had made what I had assumed the very reasonable plan to hire a horse for my journey. However, with a look at the map of my final destination, they refused me a horse. When they go there, they don't come back, the stable hand said. With no money to buy, I traded my father's watch as collateral, with the full intention of getting it back when I returned. A meek old nag named Pumpkin would be my only partner for the summer. That's a good name for a horse, right?
A meek old nag named Pumpkin?
Pumpkin, I like that. Do you have an image of what Pumpkin looks like in your head?
Yes, a meek old nag.
I guess, yeah. They did kind of like
Sort of
spell it out.
back sagging a little.
A saggy back,
You know?
a hammock with legs. Just imagine some wind in your hair and you're going, yeah, Pumpkin.
Come on,
yeah,
Pumpkin.
Come on, Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Yeah. That's good. I love that. Couldn't carry much, but it was fine as I didn't have much to carry anyhow. I might have realized I was in over my head on the ride up, which, if it were not for what happened later, could be a book on its own. The echoing screech of large birds overhead told me I did not belong here, and the elk with antlers the size of me confirmed it. My jaw hung open the entire journey, a testament to my perpetual awe. The cabin was beautiful and as tall as any New England house, perhaps bigger. It bolstered my confidence, and at that moment, I knew I was destined to find and hunt my grizzly.
I love this. This reminds me of Red Dead Redemption 2.
What do you think about this person so far in their grizzly quest?
I think things are not gonna go well.
Yeah, I give them about a 10% chance of survival.
Well, no, they wrote the story 30 years later, so they're gonna survive.
Oh, you're
this.
right, yeah. Maybe they killed a grizzly, I don't know.
Kill the bear. What one man can do, another man can do.
Is that from The Edge?
Yeah.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
And today, we're gonna kill a motherfucker.
I do regret to say that I found myself conquered by boredom most of June, as the only creatures that made its way past me were deer and various rodents. It was July when my boredom ceased, when one night I heard a small thumping. It was consistent, like a slow clock. Clunk, clunk, clunk. As soon as I heard it, I rushed out of my bed to investigate. I brought my rifle, hopeful that I had just heard a grizzly pay me a visit. However, as soon as I opened the cabin door, it stopped. I circled the cabin and even stepped out into the surrounding woods to find the culprit of the noise. Could it have been my grizzly bear? Maybe. I only ever bested small game under the displeased tutelage of my father, but had trusted myself keen enough to have at least spotted a bear if there was one.
This guy's really he's got bear fever.
We gotta hang up about his dad.
Well, yeah.
To
He's
be
probably
fair-
killing pheasants in
To
his
be
paws
fair,
like,
though,
a measly peasant.
Yeah, I mean,
Pheasant.
if the only way for me to gain the approval of my father would be to slaughter
kill?
a grizzly bear,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna be disappointing my father.
Is this how you feel, having never done any root canals or?
Oh, because my dad's a dentist?
Yeah. Does he disapprove of you and the sort of silly career that you've made for yourself?
I haven't asked him that.
Yeah, because you don't need to. It's written all over his face, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Do you think this story's gonna do a switcheroo on us? He's like, grizzlies, grizzlies, grizzlies. And then suddenly, a witch shows up. Maybe something like that?
Is that the sound of a clunking of a
And they
grizzly
hear-
bear? It's like, is that a witch?
That's a witch.
Oh, there's a broom.
I'm the one from The Wizard of Oz.
Has there ever been a movie where
what?
somebody just blasts a
How does
fucking
that
witch
even
with
work?
a shotgun? Just like if a witch was flying on a broom, just
Shoot it when it's on? No disrespect to the witches in our audience.
No, for sure. I'm talking about somebody who's flying on a broomstick.
Yeah.
And then gets fucking cast out of the sky for, defying the laws of physics and gravity.
It'd be so funny for the Tin Man to just pull out a gun.
Oh, okay, so now it's the Wizard of Oz, folks. It's good because he's got those creaky ass elbow joints.
What'd you fucking say to me?
I retired back into the cabin before I could make my way back to the bed. However, the noise continued. Clunk, clunk, clunk. I jumped up and grabbed my rifle and bolted out the door again. And once again, it had stopped. I circled the cabin multiple times until I concluded that there could be no flora or fauna bashing against the cabin in the wind. Just Pumpkin enjoying her oats. I returned to my chambers, and the noise did not continue that night, but it did return. Sometimes the noise came in slower rhythms. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Sometimes faster. Clunk, clunk, clunk,
clunk. Oh, I thought we were gonna.
Oh, you okay?
Clunk, 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 clunk.
No, four. Why are you doing four?
Give it a rhythm.
Why are you doing 4 clunks? There's 3 clunks.
Oh, I didn't realize it was 3.
All right, let's try one more time.
Clunk,
Clunk, clunk. The fuck is that?
It's a witch knocking at the door.
We've heard a lot of bonks and clonks in our day.
Sometimes it's a little vent opening and closing.
That was one time.
Yeah, I got your ass on that one.
And as the days went on, I began to notice an unappealing scent on the air. At first, it was hardly present and would come and go with the change of the wind. Eventually, though, the stench became more consistent, worse, and began to penetrate the cabin. Nights that this happened, I would run to investigate. The noise would stop, but the scent would linger until I investigated roughly 3 or 4 times. I found this odd, and in hindsight, I see how foolish I was to take this so lightheartedly. But by this point, I would let nothing come between me and the bear I had to overcome. One terrible evening, the sound of the clunks paid me no visit, but I wish to God I'd heard it all the same as I had before.
Why would you say that?
Well, I guess if you get used to it, the absence of it is just as eerie as the beginning of it.
So, good night, clunks.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you're used to them now, so they're a bit of comfort. Need my clunkies.
During what I had thought was a peaceful and quiet evening, the most horrific occurrence took place. When I awoke in the morning, I found that something did come that night, and it made the most gruesome work of my good friend Pumpkin. Dude, don't kill the horse.
Yeah, Pumpkin. I knew Pumpkin was a goner.
I shudder to tell you the details.
But here we go. It was fucked up. Tell me what happened to Pumpkin. Describe Pumpkin's mangled corpse.
I can assure you, she did not deserve this. The rope that tethers a horse to a post can be removed by the most nimble of fingers. But the way Pumpkin had been removed from the premises was the work of no man.
Ugh.
I mourned her and buried what I could find of her. A mostly empty grave, but one befitting the final work of my trusty companion. The bear would pay.
It's just like, oh, hoof.
Yeah, it's probably just
What's
all
left?
fucked up. When bears go to town on something, it's not pretty.
I read that they don't often finish, though.
No, they're gonna leave some mangled shit.
But this one ate all of Pumpkin, basically.
I guess so, huh?
Not much left.
Not much left.
Which makes me think, not a bear.
It's a witch.
Very tasty, my dear.
That sounded like one of those CDs you put on around Halloween. You could really make a genuine career out of that. Maybe then your father would be proud of you.
Maybe he would.
My son does novelty witch voices.
An honest profession. You've heard his work at Party City. All right. My patience would be rewarded one August morning when I awoke to a loud crunch. Slow and steady crunches, followed by tinier, near inaudible ones. My instincts kicked in. I crept as quickly as I could to my rifle and used it to slowly push the door open. There she was, my grizzly bear. Glorious and terrifying in equal measures. The near mythical descriptions of them still paled next to seeing her looming large over the felled deer before her. This was an animal that could kill me as soon as look at me, and it was in my line of sight. I raised my rifle and took aim. I was seconds away from the glory I'd been chasing and the reward to build upon it when I saw what made the tiny crunches. Her cubs. She was a mother of only a few months, if I would guess. The cubs followed her while wrestling, tumbling over each other and pausing only to catch up to her. You may call me a coward, but I am no monster. All of the distaste of my boyhood rushed back to me in a single instant. Luckily, The creak of my cabin door was not enough to alarm her. So, I lowered my weapon and simply admired the wild animals. I could at least do that.
Sweet.
That's nice. Also, mama bear near cubs. Very dangerous.
Do not.
Do not.
You know what? Do not interact. If you see a grizzly bear without cubs, sure. Walk up to it, smack it on the ass.
Okay, I wouldn't do that.
But if they have their cubs, they're going to be real cranky.
They're going to be smacking you on the ass. I worried that this expedition would have all been for naught. But I could not be too disappointed while observing a giant in her natural habitat. They foraged around my cabin a moment longer before leaving my view, although still audible. I was excited by the prospect that they denned nearby. Maybe I would see them once more before my time at the cabin had come to a close, and I returned to whatever measly livelihood awaited me next. I was no hunter, and I was not my father, or my cousin for that matter. I acquiesced to the reality that I would have to make my fortune another way. I should have been more disappointed, but this affirmation of myself was strangely comforting. I went about my day reading and painting, two things I was always more interested in. About an hour past nightfall, a chill storm wind blew in, and I took shelter in my bed.
I'm like that guy.
Yeah.
You gotta recognize when you're a soft boy.
That's right.
You know?
Don't try and fight your nature.
I knew that growing up.
Yeah.
Sports? No thanks. Anytime anyone threw something at me and said catch, I'd be like, oh!
I was ready for a restorative sleep under a soothing rain when the regular clunk noises began. At this point, I was certain there had to be a branch I missed in my many inspections, and it had now returned to rapping against the cabin. Something was different tonight, though. The horrid scent that I had been trying to ignore wafted in stronger than ever before. The clunks I had become so accustomed to turned into deep, loud crashes that shook the cabin. Clunk, clunk, clunk. I would have assumed it was just the thunder of the storm that had rolled in, if true thunder had not rolled immediately after the noise. These noises could no longer be hand-waved by nature and the elements. I rushed to the cabin door, foolishly leaving my rifle in my sleepy haze. I flung the door open to see nothing but darkness and the beginning of a heavy summer rain, though I could not shake the feeling that something was wrong. I'm no great hunter, but I'm no great fool either. That foul scent was at its peak, nearly suffocating me. It was like nothing I had ever encountered or have encountered since. I had to hold my breath just to stay focused. My only hope would be to hunker down and survive the night.
What do you think it could be?
Well, it's noisy, it's a clunker, and it's a stinker. So what could that be?
It's a clunker and a stinker.
A mummy? A mummy would stink and it would clunk.
I don't think mummies stink. I gotta be honest with you. The whole mummification process stops the rotting.
Have you ever smelled a mummy?
Yeah, I smell mummies all the time.
I doubt it. When did you do that?
When I went to raid the tomb of Tutankhamun. No, I never smelled a mummy.
No.
You ever smelled a mummy? You went to Egypt.
I did.
They let you do that there? Sniff a mummy?
I said, can you open that bad boy up and let me get a sniff? And they said,
yes.
Please leave.
Okay, yeah.
I never smelled the mummy, but I imagine it wouldn't smell great. At the very least, it would smell dusty. Maybe not rancid like this guy's describing.
What else is out there that stinks? Skunks.
Skunks?
Though I love the smell of a skunk. You know, I've mentioned that before, right?
You have.
Yeah.
It's weird that you keep repeating it.
It's a unique smell, and it's so nice and refreshing to smell something out of the typical, you know.
I mean, that's definitely the stinkiest animal, I would say, by and large, the stinkiest animal. But I don't think it's capable of clunking.
Is that the stinkiest animal?
I would say so.
Bigfoot's supposed to smell. What if it's Bigfoot?
Oh, shit. What if it's Bigfoot? Dude.
Bigfoot, clunk, clunk, clunk. I don't know why he's only doing it 3 times.
Could be Bigfoot and his smegma smelling ass.
And they're up in Oregon.
Oregon. Dude, this is fucking Bigfoot.
It's foot country.
Well done, sir. That's really good.
You wiped your hand on your pants before you gave me a handshake. Why is it so?
Well, because I was putting my hands on my thighs and then the body heated me and now they're a little sweaty.
You got some real wet legs right now. Okay, let's get back into it.
As I turned to head in, a thunderous crash hit the wall next to me, barely missing my head. The force of the impact sent me crumpling to the floor. As I got my bearings, I saw a combination of shattered stone and splintered wood covering the floor around me. My adrenaline snuffed my fear as I rose to face my attacker. The storm continued to rage on, and a bolt of lightning struck somewhere in the distance, illuminating what I, at first glance, wished to call a man.
Oh, I can't believe we actually fucking got
Oh my
this,
God,
man.
I think we fucking nailed
maybe
this.
it is. We'll find out.
We'll find out in a second. And then, an animal. But after all these years, I still don't know what to call it. It loomed in the shroud of a tree about 20 feet away from me, looking directly into my soul. Its shape was best described as that of a man, except giant. It could have picked me up as if I were a child. That sounds nice.
We've talked about
It'd
it.
be nice to be picked up by a giant and have him carry us places.
Carry us like a baby.
Put me in one of
the
those.
big papoose.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
On a rainy night, too, just like the light rain hitting my face. And he's like, oh,
Don't worry about it.
well, he wouldn't talk, but he would be like,
my baby. He doesn't talk.
and that would mean like,
I thought-
be careful.
Oh,
or
he
be,
just
be calm.
Coco, baba, coco.
Yeah, and I'd be like, that means be calm.
Whatever you say, Papa.
Its hands or claws gripped the tree with such strength that they bored into it. No doubt it could crush my skull with little difficulty. Its feet were enormous and its toes dug into the ground. And its fur, no, its hair, was matted into thick, coarse clumps. It was caked in mud, bones, and what I could only assume was an assortment of putrid carrion. This was certainly the source of the horrendous stench. This creature was ungodly and looked directly at me, but as quickly as I saw it, it vanished as the flash of lightning passed. I found myself looking into the void, desperately trying to make sense of what I'd just seen. Lightning exposed the area again, but the creature was gone. Fear was replaced with terror. I rushed back into the cabin and slammed the door, seeing the massive crater in the wall beside it for the first time. I grabbed my rifle off the table and braced my back to the far corner. Seeing a beast of such magnitude, such otherworldly power, melted away any hunting experience I had.
This rules.
It's pretty good.
There's not a ton of like Bigfoot fiction out there.
No, there isn't.
And the ones that do exist, it's like Harry and the Hendersons.
What if a witch
Very funny.
does appear still, though?
Would love that, of course.
Now it's witch versus Bigfoot.
Then I'd be like, maybe muddying the waters a
Imagine
little
the
bit
witch
here.
carries Bigfoot by his hair and is like
she
flying
go-
him around like,
Or she goes,
Alakazoo!
and he gets even bigger. And then the witch goes,
If you pay me 3 rupees, I'll make him little.
you go, okay, here you go, here's 3 rupees. And then she goes,
Alakazam!
and then the Bigfoot is real little, and he stomps on it and kills it. Like a bug.
oh, he squashes him.
The end. Are
That's
you scared?
pretty good.
They should make a movie out of this.
I slowed my panicked breathing, and as I did, I heard loud, confident stepping circling the cabin to my back. The logs of this cabin were built out of giant trees, but were they enough to hold this devil back? My body slid to the ground in fear, trembling and holding fast to my rifle. Get a fucking grip. You know what I mean?
Sheesh.
Get a grip.
Yikes.
You're in the presence of greatness. It's time to
Would
rise.
you, though, you're afraid of bears.
Yes.
Bigfoot also very dangerous, killed a horse. Why are you not scared of Bigfoot?
I think I could reason with him.
No, I don't think you could.
I think I could offer him a beer, just
No, I don't think it would work.
he'd be like,
It wouldn't work on a bear. Why would it work on a Bigfoot?
and then we'd be friends.
You go.
Just the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the heavy steps stopped, and I was overcome by a wave of noxious odor. My eyes began to water as I waited and hoped to be forgotten. The silence was broken by the sound of sniffing behind me, on the other side of the wall. Like some massive wolf, the creature was hunting me, and it knew where I was. Another long silence followed, heavy over the buffeting rain, every second stretching as I waited, with every muscle tensed. How could such a giant be so silent? Suddenly, the log cabin shook with frightening creaks, and the sound of splintering wood. The beast was coming. I began to pray, when another roar interrupted my thoughts. The beast stopped shaking the cabin. On the other side of the wall, I could hear the hulking creature stand and move away. The new roar bellowed again. Bear versus Bigfoot?
Bear versus Bigfoot.
Dude! I've never wondered about who would win in a tango. Grizzly bear, pretty scary, but Bigfoot, big and scary. I got my money on foot.
Well, I mean, it's kind of sweet because he saw the grizzly and the cubs,
And the grizzly
but let it live.
Grizzly was like, I saw what you did.
Thank you for letting me live.
The roar was intense, and in any other circumstances would have been a thing of nightmares, but it was my saving grace. The devil attacking me clearly felt no fear, for it returned with its own roar. His was a primeval sound, the roar of a dominant predator that thrived on its ranking in the food chain. Sometimes, morbid curiosity can override one's better judgment, and in that moment, I had to see, had to know. I crept back to the door.
This is that Michael Jackson popcorn gif.
Yeah, I can't wait. It was so good. Would you do this? Would you sneak a peek?
Oh, I'm sneaking a peek.
Well, this is why you would die in a scary movie, because for me personally, this is a lot like when the Indominus Rex gets attacked by the old T-Rexy. You use that moment as like a smoke screen to then
you get out of there.
You get out of there. Too dark to make heads or tails of a fight, I saw two giant masses of hair and fur, claws and teeth, blood and flesh. Whatever distance was between them was shortened in less than 2 seconds. The source of the new roar now produced something akin to a whimper. The devil had brutally subdued my savior, and it bellowed in pain. No, killed Mama Bear.
I don't like that. If I were writing this story, this is why they don't let me write stories for this. They would.
Oh my.
I think that'd be a funny twist. Like they'd start fighting and then they'd sort of be like, oh.
I can see what's happening. What? And they don't have a clue.
Oh!
God, now I want them to fuck so bad, dude.
That's the other fan art we want.
Yeah, just Bigfoot and this bear.
Bigfoot and bear.
Fucking. And then the witch comes.
And the witch is above them going, where's my invite?
Suddenly, I found my hunting courage. Whatever is out there saved me. I had to take up arms and return the favor. I rushed outside with my rifle. Lightning cascaded through the sky, and the scene before me filled with sorrow and rage. There, at the tree line, was a huddled, wet mass of fur, breathing very slowly. My savior was a bear, and a quick scan to the right showed 2 cubs hiding in a nearby tree. It was her, the mother grizzly bear. My heart sank. Before I could think better of it, my self-preservation left me, and I raised my rifle as a furious scream escaped me. Looking through the trees, I saw the giant's hulking shadow turn to investigate the noise, at which point I fired. The bullet of my rifle struck the creature right in the chest. It stumbled backwards, patting at the spot the bullet had just struck. It released a wicked call of pain and scorn.
Fuck! You shot me! You fucking shot me! If you shoot it in the head,
Yeah.
that would kill it, right?
Probably. Like, you come at the king, you best not miss.
Yeah.
You better hit him in the head, because
Yeah.
if he gets hit in the nipples like he just got hit here, he's annoyed.
just gonna get mad.
He's annoyed.
Yeah.
And now you're dead. While I can't know for certain, I could never shake the feeling that this was the first time something had harmed it. In nearly the blink of an eye, it vanished into the woods with unnatural speed. So this is why no one could capture Bigfoot, because he's fast and sneaky somehow.
This is what happened when we played the Bigfoot game.
That's right.
We got a shot on him and then he
my God,
ran
I
away.
completely forgot
Jumped away like Donkey Kong.
The Bigfoot game is so much fun.
It's a lot of
I
fun.
just got reminded of how much fun that was.
I want to play that again.
I want to play it again too. After a moment of hesitation to confirm the creature had left, I went to investigate my savior. But she had vanished with her cubs just as quickly. Though a long trail of blood told me she might not be long for this world, I hope I saved her as she saved me. But I didn't stay long enough to find out. That's smart, because the bear doesn't know you saved it. The bear probably would think, oh.
If the bear saw you again, it'd probably be like,
Yeah, it'd be the end. That was my last night in the cabin. I left as quickly as the sun could come up, and I returned to civilization. While not the heroic return I had hoped for, I found myself grateful to have returned at all. I have not hunted since then. I do not wish to set foot in that land again. It is the land of giants, and the giants wish to keep it that way. So, are you scared? Oh, another banger, dude.
this was a good
I love
story.
it. This story was written and submitted to us from Gunnar Leavenworth.
Gunnar,
It has been modified to fit this show.
hats off to you.
Hats off.
I also really like that the encounter was kind of realistic for what you'd expect.
Yeah.
You get the dramatics with the bear fight, which is cool.
Amazing.
But then, like, the encounter with Bigfoot doesn't go on longer than you think. He gets a shot on him. He's still terrified.
Bigfoot just, oh!
Loved it. Loved it.
An incredible story. And you're right, there's not many fiction stories written about Bigfoot.
No, I want that now.
I want to
like
see
a
this
feature
film.
length.
I want this short film.
Frontier people confronting Bigfoot. It's really fun.
If you make this movie, Gunner, we'll be in it.
Yes.
I'll be the person with the rifle and Shane could be Bigfoot.
I'll be the witch.
Okay, he could be the witch. What if you were just all of them, the witch, Bigfoot, and the bear?
Oh, sort of like a Doctor Strangelove situation.
Yeah, or like a Nutty Professor.
Or like Nutty Professor, yeah. Starring Shane Medea as the witch, the bear.
That sounds good. We'll make it. Well, that does it for this little mini season of Are You Scared? Thank you all for tuning in. I guess we'll see you next time.
Farewell.
Bye-bye.